prepare for our demonstration, I'm making 8-inch blocks from red and white fabric combinations. Of course, you can use any color you want, but I've prepared by cutting from each of the fabrics a 7.5-inch square. I've cut the square diagonally one time. I've also cut narrow strips, 1.5 inches wide from each color, and I've cut 3 3/4 inch wide strips from each color. So the narrow white one to the wide red one, so the narrow red one to the wide white strip. You need 2 of each combination. When you make strip sets like this, you will get 6 to 8 pieces or cuts from each strip set. The strip sets can be variable in length, but typically they run selvage to selvage, roughly 44 inches wide. Remember, we're making mirror image sets, and we need 2 of the strip sets to make these. When the strip sets are stitched, you want to press with one of the seams towards the wide strip, and the second strip set will be pressed towards the narrow strip set. You'll make pairs of strip sets for all of the color combinations in the collection. In preparation to cut the strips, you're going to lay the strip sets right sides together. The seams will nestle together. This is important. Remember to write down which of the strip sets you have on the top layer as you're cutting. You will want to place that same strip set on top when you cut for the entire quilt. On the surface of this pair of strip sets, I have the seam pressed towards the bigger strip. I want you to always cut with your fabrics layered in this way. You can see this is the opposite color combination, but the seam is still pressed towards the wider strip. Using the straight ruler with the marks, I'm going to begin cutting my strip set. Remember, I'm cutting through 2 layers. Position the 45-degree guideline at the bottom of the strip set. Move it so that it intersects with both edges of the strip set. Make a cleanup cut and pull to the side. You're making a gap between the 2 pieces. Lift your ruler, drop the tape in place, and you'll begin cutting sections. Always the same sequence. Position the ruler, cut the strip, pull the excess fabric. Notice on my ruler that I have darkened the 45-degree guideline with my ink pen. This helps me find the correct angle as I'm cutting. I need to tell you something really important, especially if you're drawing blocks of a different size. Whatever size your narrow strip is, in this case our narrow strip is 1.5 inches wide. That is the width that you will cut the small sections, 1.5 inches wide. Now I'm going to show you how to use the diamond ruler. This is 45-degree angle. Place the diamond ruler on the fabric strips. You don't have to hunt for an angle because the ruler itself is the correct angle. Take a look at this photo. If you're unsure how to position your ruler for a right-handed or left-handed cut, you can see it's easy either way. Align one side of the ruler with the edge of your fabric strips and make a cleanup cut. Pull the strips to the side. Your tape has been set at 1.5 inches wide, and it just drops right in between. Notice how easy it is to cut these strips. They are all at the correct angle. From time to time, you will need to double check to make sure that you're still cutting true 45-degree diamonds. When you're checking to see if your angle is still true, Position the ruler on top of the fabric. If it is different in width from one end to the other, then it's time to make a cleanup cut. Even though I have used two different rulers for my cutting technique, the pieces I've cut are identical. I want to show you what you've just created. This is the magical part. You have a pair of strips and you have just created diamonds going in opposite directions. The center of the block is not quite ready yet, but you're very close. Look how perfect these diamonds are. You need to trim the little tail at the end of this strip. With the straight ruler, position it right over the fabric and you should see it through the template. Trim the bottom. And the reason you left a gap is so that your rotary cutter will not cut into the next strip over. Lift your ruler, bring it down, and cut. The little bit that you cut away may be larger or smaller than mine, and it's due to your seam allowance. Using the diamond ruler, position it over the cut piece, aligning the edges, and trim the ends. Once you've trimmed away the little end pieces, you now have a full strip that you're ready to sew the seam. Take all of these little pieces directly from your cutting mat to your sewing machine, and you will sew a short seam from one to the next, creating a chain of pieces.